Hey guys, it's Dami, and today I'm going to be doing a product review on the 1100 yard training collar system by PetPhd. And this is the box right here. Okay. So before I get into the product, I wanted to talk a little bit about why I wanted to review this product. Now, as many of you guys know, I have two adorable spoiled rotten fur babies myself, and I was always against products like this. I didn't believe in any type of shock collars, as people call them, or electric fences or anything like that. I really did feel like it was kind of inhumane. It was horrible. And so a lot of people that know me were kind of shocked that I would review this, especially use this on my pet. But that's because I've actually seen this product work. Now, not this brand, but I actually have seen for myself how well this product works. And, after looking into and doing some research and reading articles, I realized why there's been so much stipulation and so much negative feedback on these products. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is how I started to kind of think, well, maybe this is not too bad. So one of my friends, her dog was absolutely vicious. Probably one of the worst dogs I've ever met in my life. Like, I told her, I said, I'm not coming to your house unless your dog is tied up, period. Dog didn't like people. Dog didn't like other animals. Horrible. So she ended up getting a pet collar, and again, I was just like, yeah, your dog's vicious and everything, but, I felt like a shock collar was just going too far. So anyway, she started using it, and I'm going to tell you within 6 months, and it would have been sooner, but she works full-time and doesn't have as much time to dedicate to training the dog. But within 6 months, it was a completely different dog. When I say completely different, wagging its tail, putting its head in your lap, kind of like licking you. There's no way that anybody who see that dog today would have thought that was like a psycho dog 6 months before. So, it worked. It really worked. And she used it on a regular basis. The next person that I seen use it was actually a client of mine, because I do dog care. And so I love my fur babies, love doggies. It's my way of having them without actually having them, because my husband won't let me have any more. But this lady I met, she actually was with the Humane Society, a lot of different animal rights organizations. And so I felt it was like really odd, because when, she contacted me to care for her little pup, she, and that was her dog's name, Pup. So when she contacted me, we met, she had the collar, and she said, well, I use this on her, and I was like, well, I don't really feel comfortable using a shock collar on a dog while they're in my care. And it's just something that on my end, if anything goes wrong, I feel like I'm responsible for that, which, technically I would be. And, she said, don't worry, I do it all the time. And I thought it was weird, because I'm like, out of everybody, she'd be the last person I think would use this product. So I told her, I said, look, I will not use that while I'm caring for your dog. Nothing against you, nothing against, your form of training. I just personally can't do that. And I said, so I would understand, if you chose not to use me as your suitor. But anyway, long story short, she decided to go with me anyway. And within, I say, a few months, because I actually kept her dog on a regular basis. And within a few months, her dog definitely did change. She's very nippy, not towards my dogs, but if she was outside of the home and saw a person or a dog, she was very nippy, and she barked a lot. Like uncontrollably. I hate barking dogs. So when my dog does it, it drives me crazy, because I know how I feel about other people's barking dogs. So anyway, I was really shocked. And I talked with her a little bit about it, and she said it's really not bad so long as you know what you're doing and you read the instructions and you take, precautions. So I was like, well, that's true. It's just like anything. I didn't really know much about a shock collar. All I knew is what I heard other people say, what I read, and what I knew about it from all the negative comments. So I went online, did some research, and I found a common issue. So it seemed like a lot of people that were having issues with these shock collars, and when I say issues, I mean their dog was harmed. Some people actually, their dogs died from these shock collars, and now we're not talking about the shock collars that actually just go off every time your dog barks. We're talking about the shock collars that you manually have to push the button to shock them, which is what this product does. This is not the type of shock collar where when my dog barks or any dog barks, it's going to go off. I just want to put that out there. There are two different types. So after reading all these posts and articles and, people say, no, buy them because of this. This is what happened to me. I found a lot of similarities. For instance, there were some people that, they decided they were going to leave the collar on, period. So pretty much what they did was they just replaced their current collar, which if you read the directions, it says do not leave on for no longer than 12 hours. So if you're leaving this on for your dog every day, all day, I mean, you might have some problems. And the reason why I say that, because at the end of the day, especially if it's on, and the collar's on all day, you still have that electric shock going through those metal pieces, which I'll show you in a minute. The other thing I realized is that a lot of people, they were shocking their dogs too much. Instead of hitting the button once, they figured, since this is supposed to be so effective, if my dog won't stop, I'm just going to hold down the button until my dog stops. No, you don't want to do that. That's probably one of the worst things you can do. A lot of people's dogs have actually died from that. You're not supposed to hold down the button. If your dog is not responding to a lower setting, you can push it up. I wouldn't, because I have really small dogs. But you can push it up to a higher setting and hit that button once. But I found a lot of people that were holding down that button and say, my dog died. And so what I found out is most of the time it's not the product, it's usually the owner. And it's the fact that the owner did not take responsibility, take time and read the directions, or just use common sense. I mean, common sense says you don't hold down a button and electrocute your dog for that long. That's dumb. Seriously. But anyway, so I figured, you know what? I came across this. I've seen it work. Two different dogs, two different people, two completely different situations. And so I said, when I saw that this company was allowing reviewers to review the product, I said, well, you know what? Hopefully they'll choose me. Hopefully I'll get to review it, because my youngest dog, has been giving me too much. Let's put it that way. Ever since I started doing dog care more often, she's become very jealous, which I completely understand. And she's become very aggressive. So she's been like picking on her sister, she's nipped her a few times. She's actually snapped at me multiple times, and I don't have that. We don't do that. So she snapped at me several times. One time she actually bit my finger, and I had to pop her. Seriously. And putting her in a crate, it's just pointless, because she's actually bent to the bars on the crate, and then she's going to bark uncontrollably because she's not used to being a crate. She never had to really be crated. As far as training, I didn't have to train her that way. She's always been a good dog. And so, I've tried everything under the sun and nothing's really worked. So I said, you know what, let me go ahead and see how effective this is for my dog. So now that you know that, we're going to get into the product itself. So again, this is the product right here. So a little bit about it. It is waterproof. It's up to 1,100 yards. And it is rechargeable. Has an LCD display on the remote. And it's for 1 or 2 dogs. So I know what you're saying. You're probably thinking there's 2 collars in here. There's not. And I'll tell you why it says for up to 2 dogs. Because there's 3 different modes. You have the shock feature, the vibration feature, and then you have the sound mode. So what I loved about that is, since I was still a little skeptical about the shock thing, I could still use the vibration mode and the sound. Now, to be honest with you, my dog can care less about a sound. Like, clickers, sounds, she doesn't care. She doesn't listen to you. She's just like, what is that supposed to be for? She doesn't understand. But I like the vibration mode on it. So before I get into all the modes, I'm going to go ahead and show you the product. So this is the collar. This is the company's name on it. Okay. This is for small to medium dogs, and I was kind of worried because I have toy dogs. They're 10 pounds each, and so a lot of times when something says small to medium, it's usually too big. But this actually, once I adjusted it, like all the way down here, it actually fit perfectly. And this right here, this is where the shock is. Now, it's off. It's turned off. So that's why I'm touching it. But in the box, you get like a little pick. Hold on. Which looks like a little screwdriver. And right here, if you can see this little flap, once you take that up, that's where you push the little button. There's a little hole. And when you hold it down, if you continuously hold it down, it'll blink. And that's because it's pairing with the remote. But once it's turned on and it's working, it should be a solid red, just like this. Okay. In order for you to test, when you want to test the vibration function, hold on. Let's see if I can do this right quick. Okay. So this is the remote. I just turned it on. Okay. Right here. And before you even put this on your dog, you want to test the vibration function to make sure it works. So here is the little test light. In the middle is a light. So I'm going to put it on just like this. You see that? And I'm holding the remote. And on the remote, right here on this side, where it has a little, you know, bolting light bolt thing, whatever, that's the vibration. That's the shock button. So once I push that, you should see this light up. You see that? All right. So that means that it's ready to go. It's ready to shock the mess out of your dog. No, I'm joking. So it's working, okay? But before you go ahead and put that on your dog and shock your dog to death, okay? I'm not trying to scare you, but it's just a little humor because, I mean, if you're like me, you're still like a little skeptic of stuff like that, especially if your dog's your baby, no matter how bad they are. So when you put this on your dog, you're not going to use the shock function right away. There's actually, like I told you before, a vibration function. And I don't know if you can hear it. Hopefully you can hear it in this video. I can hear it. So that's it vibrating. It's not electrocuting your dog. It's not doing that. It's just vibrating. I find that really handy for people who are very skeptical of the shock function but still want to get their dogs to behave. Now, if you have a dog like mine, she's not going to respond like a normal dog to the vibration function. Most dogs would probably jump, freak out. She kind of stood there and she was closing her eyes, and I got freaked out a little bit, and I realized she was enjoying the vibration function, and maybe because she's accustomed to me giving her massages and stuff, and I give her, you know, all the massages, so maybe it was like a massage to her. But anyway, so that's one of the things. The noise. If you have a second dog and you have a collar on one dog, if you have two dogs and you have a collar on one dog and use the shock or vibration function, whatever, if there's another dog, just like you'd have a clicker or something like that, you can use the sound. Now, it's actually on low, so I'm going to put it on high. It has 3 settings, low, medium, and high, for both the sound, vibration, and the shock function. Okay, now as far as the and hold on 1 minute. As far as the vibration over here, I don't know if you guys, yeah, you guys can see this. So as you can see, there's 2 different noises here. Okay, and if I press this button, and I'm just going to show you, you see this? You see that? So if your dog is somewhere far, okay, and your dog starts taking off, okay, and again, this is up to 1,100 yards, and you don't want to shock them. You just want to, they're used to hearing that beep as a reminder, like, let me go back. You can hit this button, and it's loud enough for them to hear, and when you hit it, they'll usually turn around and look at you. And I actually know this for a fact because one of my neighbors also tested this out on her dog. She has a medium-sized dog, a cute little adorable poodle, very big poodle, but adorable. So she tested out her dog because she actually has, it's a collar, but it just beeps. It doesn't shock or anything like that. It just has the beep. And it beeps when the dog goes, you know how you have the electric fence? Well, this one, if a dog goes so far, it'll start to beep, and then the dog will come back. Well, what she did is she took that off. She put this on her dog, and, it was already paired. Everything was good to go. And when she hit the button, the dog actually came back. And so that's really good if your pet's used to that, or if you have more than one pet, but you really don't feel like spending that money on a really expensive collar. The reason why I say that is because this product is actually very reasonable, which I'll get to at the very end. Okay, we'll talk money when we get at the end. So anyway, like I said, there's lots of just different features here. And in the middle, I'm trying to see, I'm going to light this up. Can you see in the middle here, in the very middle, that is the battery life. Okay, and as you can see, it's full. I've had this for over a week now, and I have a full battery. I've been using it literally every day, and no, I have not been shocking my dog every day. I've been using the vibration function a lot, and the beeping function, testing that out. And I mean, the battery life is amazing, and on top of that, it comes with a second set of for the shock and vibration. It comes with the second set of these things. So I think that's really awesome too. I just wanted to throw that in there. But yeah, it's awesome. I mean, I haven't had to charge this at all. And this is the charging cord right here. You can charge it in the wall, or you can charge it via USB, which is another great thing because you can take it on the go if you need to. For example, if you're traveling in the car, whatever have you. So anyway, now I have it on high, but what I need to do is, okay, so because my dogs are toy dogs and they're 10 pounds, if you can see here, I have it on the lowest setting, on the vibration right here. I have it on the lowest setting, and that's because there's no reason for me to have it on medium or high. I mean, my dogs are small, and the higher the shock, to me, and anybody with common sense, the worse it's going to be. And I know this for a fact because when I was playing around with it before, I heard a squeal and my dog's hind legs went up, kind of like a different kind of animal. What kind of animal's hind legs go up? Maybe a horse or something like that. But anyway, she shrieked and it was terrifying. So that's too high for her. There's no way I'd ever do that again. And I really don't recommend anybody with a small dog to use the medium or high setting, because I was on medium and she really freaked out. So imagine if it was on high, she'd probably be dead. No, I'm joking. But I'm just saying, you have to be careful with these things and use common sense. And again, you have to read the wherever they are, I have the directions, but you have to read the directions, and that's something a lot of people just don't do. And if you don't read the directions and you take it upon yourself or think you're doing it the right way, you can actually hurt your dog really badly, and it's really sad. But anyway, how did it work out? It worked perfectly. I'm going to tell you, this is probably one of the best investments. And I say that because everybody's dog is different. I mean, everybody's dog's different. So the time frame of, your dog, it actually being effective, I guess I'd say, it's going to vary. it's going to vary. As I said, my friend, it took her dog 6 months, but that dog was like off the chain vicious. And she worked full time, so she didn't have as much time to cater and to discipline the dog, you know. The other lady, she worked part time. I don't really know what her schedule is like, but it was just a few months, less than 6. It took my dog less than a week. Literally. So, like I said, she's been nipping her sister, been aggressive, nipping, biting, growling, and everything. So I put this around her neck, and I put the vibration, I did the vibration function, as I said, just to make sure it worked and stuff like that, and just to see how she'd react. She didn't react the way I thought she would. So I went to the shock function, and she was very startled. I had her in the crate because she was barking like crazy, and she actually quieted down for a little bit. By the third, I had to do it 3 times, and then she realized when she barks, she gets shocked. So she kind of stopped for a while. It happened again, yeah, but every time I did it, she'd stop for a longer period of time. By the 4th day, she was going crazy, crazy, crazy. It was absolutely insane. But by the 4th day, all I had to do was show her this and go like this, and she'd just go and run straight into the crate. I didn't have to put it around her. I didn't have to shock her. I didn't have to do anything. I just had to show her. So I either did that, or what I do is, she knows this remote very well. I mean, just in a matter of days, she hates this thing. And I wouldn't push it. I just go like this, and she'd be gone. Right in her crate, lay down, quiet. The fifth night she tried me, and I had to put her in the crate, and I locked her up. And I already knew it was going to be horrible. She was going to wake up the whole neighborhood. And what I love about this, because it is 1,100 yards, I can put her in the crate downstairs, and I can be in the bed upstairs, and, you know, and use the remote. So she was barking. Again, I used this max like 3 times, the shock button on low setting. She stopped barking completely. She was growling, kind of whining. She was getting louder. So I switched over to the vibration function, and it did work, because since she was accustomed to that shock function, when you hit that vibration function, even though she's not getting shocked, she feels it. So she automatically relates it to that shock. So she really calmed down, and I'm going to tell you, I had the best night's sleep ever. Like, I've never had her in a crate and be able to sleep all the way through the night. So I absolutely love this thing. It's my fave right now. But I no longer have to use it, because she's completely stopped being aggressive. She hasn't bothered her sister at all. She hasn't tried to nip her. She hasn't tried to nip me or act aggressive. Only, of course, you know, when she has her bone and she thinks I'm about to take it away from her, but that's common. But other than that, she's been really, really good. Really good. And so I have to say that this actually worked better than I thought. And like I said, yes, it was under a week, but I work from home a lot. So, and I'm always in and out, in and out. I don't have a regular 9-to-5 job. And so I was able to dedicate more time to, you know, to correct her behavior. Now, if you're somebody who works 9 to 5, you get up early, walk them, you're not home all day, you know, you're spending 2 hours with your kids, especially if you have kids and don't have time to dedicate to the dogs. But, you know, and then you're to bed, really, you just have the weekend. So it's going to be much, much longer. And it's not constant. So anyway, I like the product. It was amazing. And how much does it cost? Only $50 from Amazon. I was actually really shocked at the price, because most of them are very expensive. Very expensive. And I always felt that you had to kind of go top of the line to get the quality. I was like, why would you spend, you know, $80, which is the cheapest I've ever seen one? Why would I spend $80 for something that may or may not work? Like some people said it malfunctioned or it stopped working, and I was worried. But for $50, I mean, this is amazing. I mean, it has all the functions you need. If you're a skeptic, kind of like me, and you're kind of worried about, you know, shocking your dog and stuff like that, it has the vibration and sound mode. So, I mean, you can kind of ease your way into the whole shock thing. So I love it. Like I said, I love the battery life on it too. And also on the back, if you're outside in your yard or you're going to like the dog park or going to visit family or whatever, it has a little clip on the back so you can put on your purse, your pants, you know, the dog's bag, whatever. And let me turn this off. Come on. All right. So, but yeah. Oh, and speaking of battery life, I'm going to tell you something I didn't know. So, when it was on, okay, you saw the bright line. I mean, the bright line, the bright light. Don't mind me, it's getting late and I'm absolutely exhausted. Anyway, so you saw the bright light, it was on. Well, for the longest, I thought it was shut off because I would see the battery and I would see the letter things that pop up there, and it was on, but the full screen wasn't on. So I thought it was off. I thought it was supposed to be like that. So the whole time I didn't realize that this thing was never off. It was like on standby. So now it is off, completely off. So when I tell you that this battery life is amazing, I mean it's amazing because I pretty much never turned it off, really, because I didn't know. And yeah, I did read the directions, but I think I was more focused on how to work the product to make sure that I don't, you know, really hurt my dog or anything. But yeah, so I mean, that's my product review. I like the product. I think it is very well worth it because it's reasonable. It works. It has everything you need, and the fact that you have to manually hit that shock button, I love even more because I don't like the collars that automatically go off when the dog barks. I just don't like them. I have personally known people that their dogs have had problems, and it's kind of malfunctioned where it picked up another dog sound and started, you know, shocking their dog. So I don't really like that because you don't really have much control, but I like to have control of everything. So I really love this because you as the owner have all the responsibility is put on you. So, but yeah, so that is my product review of the PetPhd 1100 yard training collar system. Okay, super awesome, love it, and highly recommend it. Am I still a skeptic? I'm not really a skeptic of this, you know, not really. I actually think it's a decent product, and I think anybody who is training their dogs or correcting behavior, I think it's decent so long as you use common sense and you follow the directions. And you have to be active. You have to continuously do it. And when you continuously do it, it's easier to correct the behavior, and you'll get to the point where you won't even have to use it. You'll just have to show them the collar, and they'll stop. So, but yeah, so that's the end of my product review. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, feel free to ask me. I will put the link at the bottom if you'd like to go ahead and purchase the product. Remember, it's only like $50 off Amazon. But yeah, so thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for more videos.